Shrutinam sutranam smriti nikhila vedanuvachasam paramhardam yuktam hyahilachidajit bhinnam abhija abhinnam swabhavyat gunija paramam brahmagamidam samadishtam yeistan abhisatatamide Guruvaran Advaita bodhabja sahasra rashmi Shanter ladaya kila kalpa vriksha Samsara santapa vinasha chandraha Krishna sada ahladakaro mamastu Krishna sada ahladakaro Mamastu Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guruhu Udetu Satatam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhakaha Harihi 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 Om Tas Jai Guru Jai Guru Jai Guru. As usual, we shall have 3 times joint recitation of the auspicious monosyllable Omkara. Make sure that you set your mind in this manner. Our joint recitation should permeate the whole of the earth, and it should shower its benedictions on all the creatures, different forms of life on the earth. Let the mind bring about this expansion. Your body is limited, but the mind that pervades it is not gross, it is very subtle, subtler than the space. So by its very nature, it is pervading. But you don't know that. Because of the ignorance, you feel you are limited. Let the ignorance be shed, and let the mind display its permeation. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably, right? Close your eyes. Open the mouth and the heart and join me. Very good. I don't know whether I can award it to all of you. Today I thought I will tell you about how august, how great an assembly this is. And to be able to be members of this assembly, participate in the discussion, listening to them, is a great fortune. Don't think that many will be able to have this fortune. Listen to what Srimad Bhagavatam says. Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena satsangameva labhade purusho yada vai ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara nasham vidhayahi tatodayate vivekaha. You know what it means? I would like all of you to learn this. Sanjay, can you write it there? Bhagyodayena bahujanma samarjitena. The bhagya, the fortune, the blessedness that you are able to gain over a number of lives. It does not mean that you in your previous lives have gained. You should belong to a group, a family, a lineage where people are good, noble and great. If I ask you, who was the father and mother of your grandfather, do you have any answer to say? Huh? Do you know anything about him or her? But were there not great grandfathers and mothers? What about their parents, their parents? So every one of us has had a number of generations before us, behind us. In all those generations, the people should have been good, noble, great. And you must be born in such a family. Bahujanma samarjitena bhagyena satsangameva labhate purusho yadavai. Only then you will have a feeling, let us go to the place where satsang is. Let us go to a place where satsang. Go and see the Mahatma, prostrate before him, sit and then say, Mahatma ji, thoda kuch boliye na sat ke prati. एक सन्यासी हो, महात्मा हो, उनके पास जाने से क्या होगा? वे सत्संग सत के प्रति ही बात करेंगे. और घर में क्या बात हो रही है? बोलिए ना. असत्य की बात. सन इन लॉ, डॉटर इन लॉ, uncle, father, mother, neighbors, all are असत. सत्संग, इसका अर्थ मूल्यवान है ये शब्द. Srimad Bhagavata extols satsanga very, very greatly on so many occasions. The only way to improve your life, enrich your life, elevate your life, अपने को सुधारने का एक ही मार्ग है, सत्संग में डूबना, नहाना. यही है, दूसरा मार्ग नहीं. पुरुषो यदा वै. When you have the benefit of satsanga, what happens? Ajnana hetu krita moha mahandhakara nasham vidhaya. It destroys the long-standing operational influence of ignorance gained over a number of lives. See, we are all getting educated, academic education. You know, this academic education is an object education. It is the education about the body and all the objects in this world. Let it be planetary science, electricity, physics, chemistry, mathematics, all these things. All of them are about the objects. These objects are inert. They become functional because of something else. That subject part is missing in our education. So all we gain is within the fold of ignorance. So that ignorance is reducing, it is reduced. And in your mind, Viveka dawns. Viveka dawns. I am wondering, can you reply me? During the past few days we have been exposed to this text and I have been speaking to you. Do you think you have had a measure of Viveka? Discrimination. I am surprised that this girl and her sister, where is your sister today? She will come. Those girls, we know them right from younger age. How is it that they are studiously listening to this? Where is their brother? He is sitting there. I am surprised that this boy finds interest in this. They may find interest in me, I think. In Jamshedpur, our morning class was at 5:45. So many years I have discussed. And I generally discuss an Upanishad or a refined text like this. So one boy was coming and listening to me. But he would come in the morning. So I said, why is it that you are coming in the morning? Why don't you come in the evening? The talk will be a little general and you will find it. He said, I have homework to do. And he started coming. His association started. His parents also were my disciples. Then I used to guide him in his education, in his professional and all that. So I wanted him to change his profession. So he was a graduate engineer, and then he changed, went into Bombay, joined the electricity board there, and ultimately landed in London. I always used to encourage him. And he joined and took MBA. It's a 2-year course given in a single year. There is a very great institute, I don't know the name of the institute, world-class institute. He did it and he was telling me, Swamiji, this study I should have done earlier. At this age it becomes difficult to muster so much of information. Then he did it. So once he took his MBA, his status went up. So it was not easy to get a job. Otherwise he was an IT boy. So he was getting disappointed. I said, why are you getting disappointed? You should get a job now or at a different level, managerial level. So wait, something will come up. So he got. Ultimately, this person has been recruited into the defense department by UK. I was surprised that a person of Indian origin working at a very high level, not a small level, and at one time he was interacting with the 3 defense chiefs, Army, Air Force and Navy. His son is studying in a high school where the Queen's family members are studying. Very good student. He has won recognitions in more than one. So they are writing. According to the rules of the institute, we cannot give you prize for two prizes cannot be given. So we will only give you a letter of recognition. I went through the letter the professor has written. Oh, wonderful. I appreciate this. I don't know whether our colleges and schools are doing it, but I believe our education should be thoroughly overhauled. First of all, our teachers should be paid more. They are getting. I have a very good student, very good boy. He wrote to me a letter. The family is our devotees. When he was studying in school, he wrote a letter and sent an article to me. So after I read the article, I could understand of what dimension and quality this boy should have been. He was working in Ernst & Young, a very good company, international company. He wanted to go for MBA. So every time I will write to him, I don't want you to be robbed by the corporate world for making money. I don't want you to be robbed. You should find some other position. He is working in a corporate company. Very good. You see, this boy started losing weight. Are you interested in listening? In Bombay, he started losing weight. They showed the doctors and they could not find out what the trouble was. So the mother decided to pack him up to the ashram. So one day he came, landed in the ashram. What shall we do? He is coming from Bombay. Very good doctors and hospitals are there in Bombay and Delhi. So we decided to send him to one Dr. Udayabhanu, a very elderly person, working in a good hospital, a light mission hospital. They took 2-3 days and found out that it was an instance of TB. This boy was lying on the cot before going to the hospital. So I went near him. You know what he was saying? Give me a mantra. Give me a mantra. Lying on the cot before going to the hospital. So I murmured a mantra into his ear and said, hold on to it. So on the third day, there was so much of joy and release in the hospital that they were able to identify it. He was treated. He lost weight by 20 kilograms or so. It's quite all right. So I don't want good students to go into the corporate world for making money. They are good students because they love knowledge, they have learnt well. So the primary duty is to serve the cause of knowledge. What is that? Take up teaching. Let the salary be less. How will you have good children here unless you are teaching them well? The international finding and reports are the first 4 classes, primary classes, the teaching done there and the boys and girls shaped then, that is going to determine the quality of education and learning in them. And we are invariably teaching these young children by people who have passed high school classes. I think the whole education system has to be revamped. When is the government going to recognize it? Let some money be spent, like spending on defense. Our teachers should be paid at least double what they get now, so that they will not be attracted too much to the commercial sector. So I am surprised that this boy comes and faithfully, he doesn't look at any other place, sufficient focus and attention. I asked her, how do you feel? We are feeling a lot of benefit. The mind is better. It's not creating confusion. So this knowledge is so beautiful and so good and great. So all of you will have Viveka. The primary and the ultimate Viveka is that apply it to your own body. Are you the gross inert body or are you different? Huh? Are you the inert body? No. That is the primary and the ultimate Viveka. And you have to live in the recognition, in the cognition, in the realization that I am not the body, but I am the indwelling presence. Can you retain it? Your job is only to retain this knowledge at every point of time. If you can retain this knowledge, it will be a fortune which cannot be measured in terms of money. It is like the entire earth getting converted into gold. It is such a great fortune. So all of you are very, very fortunate that you are able to have a discussion. I started speaking at the age of 23. When I started speaking at the age of 23, wherever I go to villages and towns, to begin with, sometimes there will be nobody, say 3-4 people. By the time I speak for 15 minutes, 50s and hundreds of people will collect there. Then also I was talking the same subject. But today I do it in a much more detailed, sharper manner. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. I missed the order. दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे
दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे
बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा
यो विभात्यवभासात्मा
तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः
तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः
तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः
तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः.
Look into the verses you learned. एष स्वयं ज्योतिरशेष साक्षी
एष स्वयं ज्योतिरः
विज्ञानकोशो विलसत्यजस्रम्
विज्ञानकोशो विलसत्यजस्रम्
लक्ष्यं विधायैनमसद्विलक्षणम्
लक्ष्यं विधायैनमसद्विलक्षणम्
अखण्डवृत्त्यात्मतयानुभावया
अखण्डवृत्त्यात्मतयानुभावय
एतमच्छिन्नया वृत्त्या
एतमच्छिन्नया वृत्त्या
प्रत्ययान्तरशून्यया
प्रत्ययान्तरशून्यया
उल्लेखयन् विजानीयात्
उल्लेखयन् विजानीयात्
स्वस्वरूपतया स्फुटम्
स्वस्वरूपतया स्फुटम्
अत्रात्मत्वं दृढीकुर्वन्
अत्रात्मत्वं दृढीकुर्वन्
अहमादिषु सन्त्यजन्
अहमादिषु सन्त्यजन्
उदासीनतया तेषु
उदासीनतया तेषु
तिष्ठेत् स्फुटघटादिवत्
तिष्ठेत् स्फुटघटादिवत्
विशुद्धमन्तःकरणं स्वरूपे
विशुद्धमन्तःकरणं स्वरूपे
निवेश्य साक्षिण्यवबोधमात्रे
निवेश्य साक्षिण्यवबोधमात्रे
शनैः शनैः निश्चलतामुपानयन्
शनैः शनैर्निश्चलतामुपानयन्
पूर्णं स्वमेवानुविलोकयेत्ततः
पूर्णं स्वमेवानुविलोकयेत्ततः.
Which shloka I took yesterday? देहेन्द्रिय प्राणमनोहमादिभिः
देहेन्द्रिय प्राणमनोहमादिभिः
स्वाज्ञानक्लिप्तैरखिलैरुपाधिभिः
स्वाज्ञानक्लिप्तैरखिलैरुपाधिभिः
विमुक्तमात्मानमखण्डरूपम्
विमुक्तमात्मानमखण्डरूपम्
पूर्णं महाकाशमिवावलोकयेत्
पूर्णं महाकाशमिवावलोकयेत्.
See, I got a note from one of the listeners here, participants here, that I was mentioning about a Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana verse where I said, Chittam chidbhakshitam krutva chittadapi paro bhava. Chittam chidbhakshitam krutva. Say,
भक्षितं कृत्वा
चित्तादपि परो भव.
चित्तादपि परो भव.
My dear children, you will not find this kind of analysis anywhere in the world. What are these concepts they are bringing about? He says, Chittam, the mind, Chit bhakshitam krutva, let it be taken, overwhelmed, overtaken by the chit, which is its root. Understand the mind in its original nature. Chit bhakshitam kritva, and then transcend the mind and live. What do you think of it? Are you able to appreciate? Huh? So, she wanted me to explain it better. So I shall explain it. I told you in the beginning that the entire creation, what is the word or phrase I can use for it? We call it the entire phenomenal world. What is phenomenon? It is an object. What is the subject called? Noumenon. Have you heard? While you are sleeping, you are completely the subject. But the moment you dream, what is happening in dream? The sleeper brings out, displays a phenomenon. Are you able to understand? There are two words, Vishayi and Vishaya. The word Vishaya refers to the subject. Vishayi refers to the one who refers to the object, the subject. So in sleep you are sleeping as the Vishayi, the subject. Suddenly when dream comes, it is the subject, the Vishayi sleeper, who displays all the dream phenomena. The phenomena are displayed by the sleeper. समझ सकते हैं? Huh? Why don't you think? Are the dream phenomena imported from anywhere? No. Or anybody who is not the sleeper, he brings it? No. The sleeper is still lying asleep. But the sleeping presence, the Vishayi, it starts at displaying the whole Vishayas. Now you tell me, the sleep phenomena, the phenomena which were displayed by the sleeper, do they belong to him or do they belong to somebody else? So what is the display, you tell me? Who is the master, who is the source, and who is behind it? So can you not say the sleeper himself is the display? Can you say or not? Yes. Or do you have doubt? All that you dream, is it created by the sleeper? Or it is provided by somebody else? So what is this display? It may be a huge phenomena, but it is the display of the Vishayi. So is there anything in the phenomena which is not in the Vishayi? Huh? Can you not understand it with your intelligence? Huh? No answer. Can you understand it with your intelligence? The subject sleeper alone brings about the dream phenomena. So the entire dream phenomena are resting on the Vishayi, the sleeper. There is no outside factor there. It is solely. If you understand this, in the name of the phenomena, will you ever refer to any other source? हिंदी में बोलना है क्या? हम बोल पाएंगे हिंदी में सब कुछ? जो सो रहा है वो सो ही रहा है. जो सो रहा है उससे सारा स्वप्न दृश्य बनता है. उसका उद्भव और बाहर से नहीं, दूसरी चीज से नहीं. जो सो रहा है उससे ही वो विस्तृत होकर डिस्प्ले हो रहा है. तब वो किसका है? सोने वाले का है या दूसरे का है? What is the harm and what is the wrong in your calling it It is simply the Vishayi in display. This is called Chittam Chidbhakshidam Krutva. What is your mind? A number of thoughts, feelings and emotions within the body. Where are they arising? Within. Where? Where? There is an inner presence, sentience in the body. That inner presence produces the mind and the thought processes. So do they belong to any other source or this is self? So in substance, the entire mind phenomena, are they not belonging to the inside presence in you? Understand it in this manner. The subject sleeper alone brings about the object dream display. विषयी के रूप में जो सो रहा है वही सारे विषयों की उपस्थिति को बनाता है, उसके अलावा कोई कुछ वहाँ नहीं होता। तब सारा विषय विषयी का है या नहीं? बोलिए ना, बोलिए ना। उसको विषयी का समझ लीजिए, दूसरा कुछ नहीं है। यही स्लीपर तो जगता है ना। जगते समय जो कोई हो रहा है वो भी किसका होगा? सोने वाले का होगा। सोने वाले का अलावा और कुछ हो सकता है? You answer me from your intelligence. I don't want an answer from your nose and ear. Give me an answer from your intelligence. It is the sleeper who wakes up, and he wakes up without anybody's help. He himself wakes up. He himself goes to sleep. So when he wakes up, सारा दृश्य हो रहा है। तब दृश्य किसकी रचना है? किसकी रचना है? बोलिए ना। आप लोग कहाँ देख रहे हैं? यदि आप नहीं जगते, दुनिया नहीं बनती। आपके जगने के द्वारा ही दुनिया का दर्शन या अनुभव हो रहा है। ये अनुभव कहाँ है? आंतरिक है या बाहर है? विश्व, सारा विश्व विशाल विस्तृत विश्व है। विशाल विस्तृत विश्व है, कौन समझता है? बोलिए ना। आप लोग बेवकूफ मत बोलिए ना, कौन समझता है? भीतर वाली उपस्थिति या बाहर? तब इसकी अभिव्यक्ति है। When you understand it, the chitta vanishes and the chit takes over. When you understand this, the so-called mind and mental display vanish and the source, namely the consciousness, takes over. Is it clear? Huh? Chittam. For that, what should you do? What should you do? You should sit in a place. Go into your mental processes. Understand that the whole processes are generated by the inner source and they are also manifesting in the inner source. हमारा अनुभव जो कुछ अनुभव हो, विशाल भूमि का दर्शन हो रहा है। भूमि विशाल है, उसका दर्शन हो रहा है। यहाँ दर्शन कहाँ होता है? शरीर के भीतर या सरसू मात्र बाहर? भीतर तो हो रहा है। विशालता मन की रचना है। Is it difficult to understand? Huh? This is an understanding your buddhi gives. It does not, it will not come from anywhere. That is why I am asking you, 5,000 multiplied by 10 कितना है? How do you say this? Do you bring 5,000 pieces 10 times, add and then say? But you only say what? 5,000 multiplied by 10 means 50,000. एक ऐसे बोलते हैं, आप स्वीकार भी करते हैं। इसको क्यों स्वीकार नहीं करेंगे? मन कहाँ है? शरीर के भीतर। मानसिक रचना तब कहाँ होगी? जो कोई अनुभव है आंतरिक है, आंतरिक अनुभव है, सारा कुछ अनुभव। इज देयर एनीबडी इन दिस असेंबली हु विल से माय एक्सपीरियंस इज आउटसाइड द बॉडी? सारा कुछ अनुभव यदि आंतरिक है, विश्व का अनुभव भी कहाँ होगा? बोलिए ना, सारा विश्व मुझ पर, मुझसे, मेरे द्वारा विराजमान है। मुझ पर, मुझसे, मेरे ऊपर विराजमान है। When you understand all these and starts evaluating everything from the subject level, it becomes chittam chit bhakshidam kartva. Then the life that will follow will be a supra-mental life. It won't be merely a mental life. What is the difference between an educated man and an ignorant man? Both of them have the same body. They look alike, they dress themselves. But an educated man, you will find educational refinement in him, which the ignorant man will not have. In the same manner, when you understand the antarik nature of all anubhavas, while interacting with the world and having all experiences, will you not carry the torch, the information that it is all a display of the subject? It's all inner, 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 inner. Why don't you contemplate upon this truth? To begin with 50 hours. And then you will find this is not merely a contemplation. I am able to feel it, you will be able to say. When I see all of you, my eyes are seeing your bodies, dresses, etc. But somehow I understand that you are all enlivened, you are living. So am I seeing the livingness in you or the body in you? I see the body, I agree. But the body is alive. That it is alive, do the eyes say? हाँ? कैसे समझते हैं आप लोग? बोलिए ना थोड़ा. He is alive. How do you say that? What is alive? At one time the body becomes dead. The aliveness goes away. So something that makes the body alive is inside the body. So looking at a living body, tell me, are you referring to the body or are you referring to the livingness in it? Bas, yahi hai. So in that way, Chideva dehastu chideva logaha chideva bhutani chidindriyani karta chidandah karanam chideva chideva satyam paramartha rupam. You tell me whether all are the subject in display or is there any object? Are you agreeing? Huh? Yes. Is the object in display or the subject displays the object? Where does it display? Inside your body or outside your body? Even your body, can you see? You only have a notion created by the mind of your body. You see a huge tree. Does it come inside you? So when you see the body, will the body come inside your mind? So what is it that you have? You have a notion about your body created and preserved by the mind. So disconnected from the subject, can there be any perception, any experience, any imagination, any activity, any interaction? Disconnected from the subject. Imagine a sleeping person. Gently open the eyelids, show a bunch of flowers, take away the flowers, allow the eyelids to close. Next day you ask him, did you see the flowers? What will he say? Why? Because the interaction has not taken place. For the interaction, the subject should be there. So the entire world I am perceiving Is it connected to me, the subject? Huh? Where is it? That perception, where is it rooted? So the entire world, is it not a display of my own subject in itself? This body is also like that. This body is consciousness. Chideva dehastu, chideva lokaha. The entire world I perceive and interact with, that world also is equally consciousness. Its display. Chideva bhutani chidindriyani. All the bhutas, beings, as well as the panchabhutas, all of them are consciousness. Chidindriyani, chideva lokaha, all the worlds. Karta chid, the doer, the performer, the seer, the hearer, that is also chit. Antakaranam chideva. The mind also is chit. Chideva satyam paramartha rupam. So in the whole experience of ours, in the whole existence, existential display, creational display, this consciousness which makes us know it, that alone is the truth. Is it understandable? Huh? It is understandable, but you are not taking to it properly. You know, when I tell you, at least 2 or 3 people should be in the assembly who say, is it so? The whole personality should change. The entire objectitude is a display of the subject, and the subject is always inside. So the entire perceptions I have, they are inner. Huh? So can the object of any power or potential, which is different from what me, the subject, has? When this knowledge is presented to you, my dear souls, you should get up. Arey, what is this? Is it something small? देखना, सुनना, ग्रहण करना, स्पर्श करना, टेस्ट करना, ये सब अनुभव है या दूसरा कुछ है? अनुभव कहाँ होगा? बोलो, अनुभव कहाँ होगा? जिस प्रकार देखना है, सुनना है, सब कुछ आंतरिक अनुभव है, दुनिया का दर्शन भी क्या होगा? अनांतरिक कोई कुछ हो सकता है? तब इसका अर्थ क्या है? तुम दुनिया का मालिक हो या दुनिया का गुलाम हो? मालिक हो कर रहे हो या? ये क्या बात है? चल! What is this? You know, I am catching everybody in the whole world by this. You are seeing. Seeing is an action. You tell me whether any form of matter can see. Huh? Our whole body is matter. Matter. The eyes also are matter. Nose also is matter. Ear also is matter. Can they ever see? So seeing is a process. It proceeds from the seer. Tell me, where is the seer in you? If seer is inside, seeing is where? And seen also. You will agree, mind is inside. So every experience that we have is inner, mental and inward. All the objects we have perceived them. Perception follows perceiving. Perceiving proceeds from the perceiver. As long as the perceiver, you agree, is within the body, perceiving process also is, and perception also. Tell me what is outer now. बोलिए ना, कुछ नहीं है. किसके पीछे तुम दौड़ रहे हो? यहां क्या है चीज जो कोई अनुभव बनाने वाली है? एकमात्र चीज है जो आंतरिक चेतना है। उसके अलावा कोई कुछ अनुभव बनाने के लिए लायक नहीं, समर्थ नहीं, कुशल नहीं, कुछ नहीं। इस सत्य को आप पकड़ सकेंगे या नहीं? चुप रहते हैं। ओह वंडरफुल। सी यू शुड कम enthusiastically saying हैं, तो नहीं बोलते हैं। आप इसका ग्रहण कर सकते हैं? कर सकते हैं। तब ग्रहण करने के बाद क्या करना है? फिर भी इस फालतू के पीछे दौड़ते रहना। घटकलशकशूलसूचि मुख्यैः गगनमुपाधिशतैः विमुक्तमेकं भवति न विविधं तथैव शुद्धं परमहमादि विमुक्तमेकमेव। घटकलशकुशूलसूचि मुख्यैः
घटकलशकुशूलसूचिमुख्यैः
गगनमुपाधिशतैः विमुक्तमेकम्
गगनमुपाधिशतैर्विमुक्तमेकम्
गगनमुपाधिशतैः विमुक्तमेकम् भवति न विविधं तथैव शुद्धं परमहमादि विमुक्तमेकमेव। Shall I explain it or miss it? Ghata kusula suji mukhyaih. Ghata means jar. Kalasha means a pitcher containing water, you can say. Kusula, a container for grains. Suji mukhyaih, a needle. Now all these are different objects spread out, and space is interpenetrating all of them. See, our earth is limited, water is limited, air is limited, fire is limited. What about space? Do you agree that it is unlimited? Huh? You can only see the four. We are also equally seeing. You cannot see an object except in the background of space. So you cannot miss space. Say, what is in between you and me? It is space. Surrounding also it is space. So in the space which is permeating everything, there is a pitcher, there is a jar, there is a grain container, and there is also a needle, and so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of objects. Upadhishataihi. All these objects which the space interpenetrates or penetrates, does it break the space? Huh? You create a mud pot, so many different kinds of mud pots. All of them are penetrated by space. Suppose you break the pots, will anything happen to the space? If you agree, bhavati na vividham tathaiva shuddham. If by breaking or something happening to these pots, etc., nothing happens to the space, what about the self? What is the Chetana that is animating your body, making you understand the body? Param ahamadi vimuktam ekameva. It is completely freed from all things. The only trouble is that this is understanding by the intelligence. So you have to employ. If the space is not the least affected by so many objects distributed in the world, then what about the inner presence which is even subtler? Will it be affected by anything that takes place in the body, mind, intelligence or ego? Sometimes the mind will be miserable. Sometimes it will be happy. Sometimes the intelligence will have doubt. Sometimes confusion. Sometimes clarity. Sometimes the ego will be very pronounced. Sometimes it will be humble. By all these variable factors put up by these instruments, do you think the Chetana, the sentience that is animating the body, is it the least affected or stained? Huh? Just like you say no, retain this no. Think about it now and then and try to be so. Let anything comes. What of it? See, I always say, sometimes in writing I write sometimes to the Supreme Court and whenever there is necessary, some petitions are there. So I always say, if I remember correctly, we have 7,500 kilometers of sea coast. What does it mean? We are exposed to the hazards of the sea. So we must be prepared to understand them and take measures. Otherwise, quit India and go. Our country is in a way partly surrounded by sea. So we will be sufficiently exposed to the hazards. Just like Japan is living with volcanic eruptions. Should we not learn? Our learning should be for that. Every time some hazard takes place, what will happen? A few people will die. Our idea must be to avoid death. On the roads we have made, on the roads which we have made, not God has made, the vehicles which we have made, the traffic laws which we have made. Are you following me? How many accidents are there in India? Previously I used to speak about it. 5 lakhs of people are dying. Now it may be a little less. And our idea should be to bring the death to 0. In our own man-made roads, man-made vehicles, man-made traffic routes, if 5 lakhs of people die in our country, in the God-made earth, how many should and must die? थोड़ा बोलिए ना, चुप रहते हैं क्यों? What is this? Whenever some accident happens, rush and help. That's all what we are supposed to do. We cannot say we should not have any accident, then go away from India. We will have floods, we will have droughts, we will have lightning, we will have accidents. Many things will take place here. And you have a mind to forbear this and a lot more. This is a place for thinking people, knowledgeable people, courageous people, not timid people. What is it? You are a human being, not an elephant, not a rhinoceros. In you, the intelligence is the most critical role player. What is it that you are saying? Our people began to think of God because of the nature's hazards in us. In one place it will be floods, in another place it will be drought. In one place it will be a fire, in another place it will be earthquake. All these things have happened. You know, when Bakranangal Dam was made in Punjab, it was a human activity. On your mobile the information is there, I cannot quote it from memory now. See, the catchment area is very huge and the height of water is very much in Bakranangal. The whole Punjab has changed because of the one dam. You know there was an earthquake? Because for the first time in the history of earth, by making the dam, we brought about a huge catchment area, thereby a huge column of water was built there. Mrs. Earth had to shake a little bit to balance. Is it wrong? हाँ? बोलिए ना, चुप रहते हैं क्यों? Perhaps they did not think about it. They did not think about it. That is your wrong. When you try to interfere, it is not a small measure. Huge water column. So I think our intelligence will have to be very active. You are born here to live gloriously. Gloriously. You may have, you may not have. But don't invite mental poverty. Chitta daridrata ko kamana mat. Keep your mind sufficiently resourceful, sufficiently affluent, sufficiently opulent. The entire philosophy is to raise the inner resources. Our name of this institution is also Center for Inner Resources Development. Brahmadi stamba pariyanda mrisha matra upadheya tadaf purnam swamatmanam pashyed egatmana sthidam. You know, Brahma Vidya, it is called Brahma Vidya Abhyasa. The word Abhyasa is used perhaps only by us. I don't know whether in other languages it is there. We say practice a knowledge, not learn, not study. You have to practice it. So we are discussing it only to say, Pashyed egatmana sthidam. Understand that whatever is present in your body, above matter, above energy, there is only one product. I cannot call it a product. That presence will not be affected by anything whatsoever. People are complaining. A boy came to me and said, Swamiji, what? My mind is sometimes bringing hopeless, adverse thoughts. Your mind is bringing. Why are you worried about it? Let the mind bring. Your problem arises only when you respond to them. Bad thoughts, are you going to act upon them? Then you are guilty. Suppose the thoughts came, the mind brought it, you say, oh, why are these thoughts coming? I am not interested in them. I don't want them. So you dissuade them a few times, they will stop coming. But if you get frightened by them, they will come over and over again. So simple, but nobody knows. Even psychological experts don't know. The mind is thinking of its own accord. Only when a thought comes, you know that it has come. I say you sit in a place and invite all these unwelcome thoughts. Just remain there. My dear unwelcome thoughts, please come. Let them come. You remain there. What will they do? After some time they will go. So don't act upon them. When you act upon your thoughts, then only the responsibility comes, trouble comes. So dissuade them. Plural thoughts will occur in the mind. It is for you to decide which you will pursue, which you will not pursue. Gaganam upadhishatair vimuktamekam bhavadina vividham tathaiva shuddham paramahamaadi vimuktamekam brahmadi stambhaparyanda mrishamatra upadheya. I don't know whether I should skip this verse. See, when you say God, you say omnipresent God. God is only synonym for self. The self is all pervading. If it is all pervading, can there be another substance with it? Huh? Huh? All pervading. So if an all pervading substance or presence cannot and will not allow a second thing to be, all that appears to be second, third, fourth, fifth and infinity, what are they? They are an illusion. Can you call them? What is illusion? Anything for which we are not able to trace a cause is called illusion. Anything for which you are not able to adduce a cause, it is called illusion. So if there is one thing that is omnipresent and it cannot permit a second factor to be, then all the second and the third factors, what are you calling them? You have to call them illusory. So he says, Tadah purnam swamatmanam pashyed egatmana sthidam brahmadistamba pariyanta mrishamatra upadheyaha. Mrishamatra upadheyaha. All these adjuncts, upadhis, are mrisha, mithya. Mithya is not a sankalpa. We use the word mithya when there is a phenomenon which cannot be explained in terms of reason. We are not able to find the causality. Then we call it mithya. It is an intelligential assessment. A shlok boliye. Brahmadistamba paryanta.
ब्रह्मादिस्तंभ पर्यंता
मृषामात्रा उपाधयः
मृषामात्रा उपाधयः
ततः पूर्णं स्वमात्मानं पश्येदेकात्मना स्थितम्. You agree that space is penetrating everything else. This Atma, the Chetana that you are referring to, is even subtler than space. The difference between the two is, this is inert space, that is sentient Chetana. As it is present within your body, Panchabhautik body, it is present everywhere where Panchabhutas are there. So understand this greater dimension of the I. Understand this greater dimension of the I. See, it is something like becoming the Lord of the universe. See, you look at the world and then say, my dear world, you are something that my mind displays in me. My mind displays in me. You have no existence beyond my mind. So everything is a mental display, a mind product, an inner product. That becomes, you become the Lord of the universe. We are going to say that tomorrow. I don't know whether you are ready for it. Huh? I don't know whether you like this talk. Huh? You like it? It's interesting. I am a little afraid. But the application of it you will miss unless you are in close contact with your teacher and then try to understand. This is a great knowledge. How do you make it applicable? That applicability you should understand. Because the entire knowledge is to make your mind light. To make your mind not overpowered by interactional objects, interactions and interactional outcomes, but make your mind overwhelm them. What? Hoga? Huh? Make your mind overwhelm them. The same mind which you now think is victimized by interactions and interactional outcomes will start becoming pronounced and overflowing in you, that all the interactional outcomes will be overwhelmed by them. The entire table will change. Does it make sense to you? Huh? But remember this, your body is a material mass. It has no potential or power to generate an experience or knowledge. It is an outcome of food that you eat. It is entirely matter. As matter, it is powerless. It is inert. It is made efficient only because of the mind. And that mind is above matter. This you remember. Be conscious of this fact more and more, more and more, more and more. So you will find the weakness will drop. The confusion will flee. होगा क्या? होगा? कब होगा? ठीक है. See, think a little. The entire world of matter and energy. The entire means everything. Could it have been born from another matter and energy? Huh? Because I say the entire matter. So the entire matter has been sourced by something different from matter. Can you think and understand this proposition? Huh? What is that? It is neither matter nor energy, but something different. That different factor is what you have in your body as the inner presence. Now that original thing which cannot, we don't have any words to define them, because our words are taken from the object world. So it is different from the object. See, that has become this world. It is something like water becoming ice. Water has become ice. Like that it has become. So can you not see the world as a display of the supreme truth? Huh? Why don't you start seeing? See God everywhere. That perception will bring in you a far greater dimension. If you are limited now, that limitation will vanish and you will have an unlimited feeling. But you spend time. Think about it. We are spending 2.5 hours to nourish and look after our body every day. Correspondingly, how much time do you spend to nourish your mind and intelligence? Nothing you do. You only use your mind and use your intelligence. You are never doing anything to nourish the mind and the intelligence. Mind is nourished by emotions and thoughts, and intelligence is nourished by knowledge. Now what I am discussing here, this is a nourishment both to the mind and the intelligence. So you should spend some time. In place of 2.5 hours, spend at least 1 hour. Harvard University in a bulletin said that we are awake for generally 1020 minutes a day. At least 20 minutes you use for contemplation and meditation. 20 minutes. If we don't do, then can we call ourselves human beings? All our religious practices are based upon these philosophical truths. Everything that we have. If we cultivate a tulasi plant, it is a scientific act. If we have a love for bale fruit, it is. If you take 3 leaves of bale, there will be no diabetes, they say, every day. Everything we do is scientific. The manner in which we place our leaf for food, items are served. Everywhere you will find a scientific, logical and rational method. Everywhere. Hinduism is all reason, rationality. Nothing else. Okay, shall I conclude now? I again ask you, do you like this talk? Yes. Achha. I think even Mahavishnu will not have such an audience. If you go there, I don't think there will be many people. Samvedyavarjitamanuttamamegamadyam samvitpadam vikalanam kalayan mahatman hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadametya samodidashri kurvan agartrapadametya samodidashri. Actually, this sloga I recite invariably. Previously I used to recite something else. Both of them are very, very thought-provoking. But nobody asks me, Swamiji, what is this verse? Will you please explain? But one person asked me, so I explained it. This is what Vasishtha says to Sri Rama, 16-year-old Rama. He says, Hridyeva tishtha kalanarahita kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadametya samodidashri. You start dwelling in your own heart, graced by the radiance of desire freeness. Thoda sun lijiye. What do you say about these phrases? Dwell in your own heart. Hridyeva tishtha kalanarahitaha. Avoiding all kinds of crisscross imaginations and expectations. Kriyam tu kurvan. Performing all kinds of activity. But agartrapadametya. Attaining non-doership in you. Samodidashrihi. Graced by the luster and radiance of desire freeness. It is this we call Dharma, our Dharma. You know, Supreme Court in 1996 also, it has passed a judgment in which it has said, Hinduism is not a religion. It is only a way of life. What religion? Where is God here? This is Hinduism. Can we say it is a religion? You know, the word religion came into the English language, I don't remember exactly, in 1870 or so. The word religion has come to the language only then. And what about our Dharma, which was prehistoric? Sometimes I am ashamed. We never know anything about us. It is knowledge that our people had evolved. And it has survived through countless millennia. When India became independent, some good people were there. They were looking for a motto. Where from did they find it? Satyameva jayate. Where from did they find it? They found it from Mundakopanishad. Our country is supposed to be secular. What about this motto? Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tas. Let us have the conclusional Omkara. Take the pose for it. Harihi Om Tats. Jaya Guru. Jaya Guru.